What up? What's up, everybody? What's up? It's DJ Cheds. I'm just kidding. I probably would have been a pretty lousy DJ. I like to dance, but yeah, anyway, folks, thanks for hanging out here. That's, of course, Church of Eight Wheels. That's my intro-outro program. You know, most of you love the dancing. A couple people don't, which is okay. I'm not trying to please everybody. I'm just going to be me. You know, I like to make these streams like incredibly educational. Like, that's super important to me, to add value to this space. And when you're learning, what I feel like is it's easier to learn when you're having fun. So that's why I have the dance music. Let's get this stuff out of the way. Big Cheds on Twitter, of course. You know that. You probably see me there. That's why you're here now, most likely. YouTube at Cheds Trading. I put out a lot of stuff on YouTube. You may or may not know about it. What I'd say I want to direct you to first is for sure the Trading Encyclopedia. This is like a 200 and 300 video playlist of basically, it's professional TA. A lot of people you can follow, a lot of people you can try to learn from. Most of them have no idea what they're doing. And what I've read the textbooks, I've done CMT, I'm teaching you professional, like legitimate top-notch TA, and I have these 3-minute videos on all these little concepts that you see me tweeting about, like what's a C-fork reversal, EMA, SMA, what are measure moves, and how do I set my stop loss, and what are these patterns, Chad, you're talking about? Well, I made 3-minute videos. Look at this thing. So you get a brand new one every day. It's free. Check it out. You know I published 4 books. Those are free on my YouTube. I'm giving back. By teaching you, I get better. And so I'm continuing to do this. I try to live stream here about once a week. I would live stream more, honestly, but of course, Bitcoin Live is my priority. I'm a founding analyst. I've been doing my, my full market reports there for 8 years at least. And every Wednesday and Sunday night without skipping a beat. Look at this team. I'm super proud of it. Check out Bitcoin Live. There's free reports under the public blog. You can see what we're all about. I'm on Twitter. And also, just if you're looking for somewhere to trade, check out BingX, my favorite exchange. I've worked with them for like 5, 6 years. So I want this to be interactive. Oh, and by the way, other stuff too, of course, the interviews and my cancer memoir, all my books, everything's free. Check out my YouTube. I want this to be interactive. So, I'd like to hear from the chat room. Usually you folks are quite active. You ask great questions. And your questions help us, help us create value and good topics. So just don't be shy. Hit sub, and then you can ask me a question. I'll do Bitcoin, Ethereum. We'll talk about some altcoins. We've had some volatility in the last couple days. We'll try to put it into perspective. And if you haven't already, it's helpful to go back and watch my last live stream. So try to watch every live stream if you can. It's going to give you a pretty good game plan for the time to come, okay? So I've got the 4-hour up because I've just been, again, the rule of thumb in classical charting, which is Western TA, is, time frames. When do I drop to a low time frame? Well, after volatility and when the price is at a key level. And you have both of those things in play here. So you've had the big volatility in the weekly chart. If you haven't noticed, you haven't seen, if you go to my YouTube, my Twitter, and check out the pinned tweet, there's a video I did at Bitcoin Live where around 76K, I was saying, up in this range, I was basically saying, right around here is I don't like the initial price reaction on this support test, and I think we're heading to this range for a bounce. And what we need to reverse this downtrend is this type of a thing. We need to drop below the lower Bollinger Band, right? So this is me kind of explaining that ahead of time. And we got it, which is beautiful. We got that lower Bollinger dip, that overreaction. And after that, we've been studying the texture, right? Like a nice wine, the texture of the wine, the texture of the consolidation. And I've been here on the 4-hour, and I've been studying this 4-hour structure. We have our initial bounce. Okay, we have our beautiful, beautiful overreaction, a nice harami here, a nice bounce, and it set a range peak. So let's clean it up. But before I do, remember these levels because we'll get back to them. But we had a nice little bounce, and we set our range peak. And we started to kind of poke into this range peak here around 71.5. And what you can do as you're following along with the as I say, the texture, you can start to look when the price starts to set levels for you. The price starts to set local, which means nearby levels. set our low, we set our peak. And now after you set your peak here, you're looking for a higher low. Is it here? Is it here? Both of these failed. So what really would have been ideally an initial straight up, a little quick continuation and a logical underside test of 76K, we were unable to do that. And we've been drifting down lower and hunting for the higher low and hunting and hunting and hunting. And then we tried to bounce again, rejected once again, right? Range peak. Where's our higher low? Testing again here. So we test again here and bounced, okay? So now as we're following along, kind of catching up to here, you've got range peak, you have failed higher lows, you have this last ditch higher low, because you don't want to keep drawing potential higher lows all the way down. At some point you have to draw, a line in the sand from this move, from this low to this peak, right? And so when we came back, once we retested it, now we have, a very important level to watch. And we watched this important level, 65.5K zone, attempted higher low. And what happened was we had a failed higher low. Failed again. I mean, where's the follow through from bulls? Okay. What I said on Bitcoin Live was if we break this level, we're very likely to test range lows and likely to break it. Now, we had a very positive initial response, and I want to kind of walk us through that. But we're still probably headed back and probably going to break this level, right? That's the TLDR, because from a larger picture, and by the way, folks, thanks for hanging out and listening to a guy in an orange mask rambling. From just a higher time frame perspective, the momentum snapback should have been stronger. I mean, yes, it's a brutal secondary. This is a secondary downtrend to the primary uptrend, right? Primary price above the rising MA200, that's the uptrend. A brutal secondary trend, falling channel. And this is a great candle. It was a beautiful candle at this prior structure, 35 weeks or whatever, at the 2021 highs. You have all sorts of confluence. It's a term, right? And again, I have videos and everything I talk about. I'm not trying to throw out words to sound smart or fancy. You go soak up the encyclopedia. I've made videos in every academic word I can think of. And so it was just a logical spot to bounce, and we hit support. Hey, Peter, or hey, Moment. Thanks for saying hi. Just where's the follow through, man? Where's our at least a bounce into underside here, and we haven't had it. So, given that momentum story, it's just been kind of surprising we haven't had more of a push. Haven't broken 71.5. We've had all these failed higher lows. So here we are, back to the story. 4 hour. Again, we're tracking lower time frame. 4 hours a lower time frame, okay? Even daily technically is the lower time frame. Although Bitcoin, the highest time frame I accept is the weekly, because it's got the MA200. So you can argue and say daily's maybe not low time frame for Bitcoin, but for other assets, big board stuff it is for sure. Stuff that has, more price history. So we bounced where we thought we should bounce, or where I thought we should bounce. We haven't had the follow through. Hey, happy Friday to you, Psalm Capital. We haven't had the follow through I'd expected so far. And we've just been tracking this local range and looking for a higher low. Where is it? Okay. So we had the failed higher low right here, 65.5. All right. Test of range lows and then another play. Then we had another bounce set up. So what happened here? So here we go. Here we go. And then I put out a tweet. This is, whatever number of days ago, 3-4 days ago. This is here. I pointed out 63.7. Yes, it looks terrible. Yes, it looks terrible. But hey, man, I'll take the next best trade. I'll always take the next best trade. Jonah says, thanks for this. You're welcome, brother. I'll always take the next best trade. Here's a 4H outside bar. What's an outside bar? Okay, well, just, of course, go to the encyclopedia. I mean, I've got 2 or 3 videos. Here's one on the outside bar. And the outside bar, and here it is. All right, and it's not a place to get a drink outside, which is also nice. But here's our outside bar. It's a Western TA term, right? And it's not like, you probably know of like a bullish engulfing. Move down, candle body, larger body. Outside bar has to do with the candle wicks as well, the entire range of the candle. So let's say this was like this and that was like that. That's an outside bar. The entire range of the candle eclipses the prior range candle. It's kind of a momentum. It stuffs the momentum, right? And with that, there's all this nuance. What's the trend beforehand? Is it in a trendy market? Is it sideways? Where does this candle close in the range? Is it closing in the middle of the range like this one? Is it closing in the peak of the range like we had down here? Like we had, let me try it again. Like we had down here, peak of the candle, that's strong. So with an outside bar, you'd like to see more volume than the prior candle. You had that. You'd like to see a close near the peak of the range. We had that. And you'd like to see it after a downtrend. You got it. And at horizontal support. And this is all stuff I've written about in Trading Wisdom, my second book. It's available for free on my YouTube. You can get it on Amazon too if you want. But the outside bar, and this is me letting you know, yeah, I know it sucks. Everything's bad. And yes, you know I'm bearish, and I'm the guy calling for 35, 45K since November before it became fashionable. I'm still going to take the next best trade, and here it was. Long trade given. And I said to you, outside bar with 65.5 above, likely underside test. So what does that mean? Let's break it down. I'm putting out this call for you. I'm letting you know we just closed here. And we're probably, there's a pretty good chance, likely, pretty good chance we're going to bounce up into 65.5 from, 63.7, 63.8. We'll get to silver. We'll get to silver some. I'll do that. I'll do gold and silver. So I'm basically saying here, look, we're getting ready for a bounce. And here's the Obama giving himself a medal. Here's me congratulating myself. There it is, right? I said, ready for a bounce. We're going to bounce, and there it is. So we got the underside test. Okay, great. What happened next? Great. Okay, Cheds, what about next? Well, now I'm following through. We're dissecting the 4-hour. Here's the update to the there it is tweet. If Bitcoin can flip 68.5, that would trigger a 2-level filter break. Next level above 71.5 broader range peak. And I want to dissect these words, break them down for you. I'm not trying to overcomplicate things. I'm not trying to throw, you're welcome, JDX. I'm not trying to throw terms at you. I have videos on range peak. I have videos on 2-level filter. I have videos on local. I have like all this stuff in the trading encyclopedia. Like you can't complain if I've given you all the tools. So what I'm saying here, let's go back to, we are about here in the price trend. We're breaking it. We're right here. We're right here. Okay. Here we are. We're starting to break that level. I thought we might reject. We didn't. Now we're starting to break it. Okay. So we're breaking the next level. And I'm basically saying I'm identifying a couple things here. So I've identified the first line is a descending supply trend, kind of an initial trend, right? So we take this peak and that peak, and we're gonna draw this. And again, remember, here's the important lesson. I had someone tell me I drew the trend line wrong, and I thought that was hilarious because there's really no wrong way to draw a trend line as long as you kind of capture the majority of the action. Like the whole point of a trend line is to identify like a trend. It's not to identify a line. You're just drawing the line to illustrate what you can already see, which is a general trend of price. There's a filter around it, right? But it was just funny. Someone said you drew the trend line wrong. I mean, if you say that, that means you don't understand the purpose of a trend line, right? So I identified what I refer to as a descending supply trend. It's a trend of descending supply sellers, right? So we first indicate that. And then I'm looking for the 2-level filter. How do you avoid getting faked out? How do you avoid getting faked out on a simple trend line break? And you see a lot of people love these trend lines. They could just go long here. I'm long, but what if it just does this? What if it just does this? And now you're stuck. You bought here with no stop loss. You didn't trigger stop loss. Now you're down here. You bought more. And now you're complaining. And now you're a community member. And you've just given up all control. What do you do? 2-level filter. What do? Use a 2-level filter. So let's say we got this. Let's go there. We start to break out. I want to see a lower high captured. I'll wait until it can break the lower high because then I can manage my risk. I can take a long and establish my stop loss. My stop loss meaning when my thesis is invalidated, when my thesis, proves to be wrong. And that's what a stop loss is thematically. A stop loss, and I write about this in all my books. Well, not the cancer memoir, obviously, because it's not about that, but especially in Trading Journal, where I define for you my 4th book, right? The Trading Journal, where I define for you like trading setups and how to define your stop loss and why you're entering the trade and mindfulness and all that. And I talk about that. The idea is when your trading idea fails, that's your stop loss. And your stop loss, how you manage it, is your confirmation level, whether it's a 1 hour close, a 4 hour close, a certain percentage move. And these are things I've said every stream. So if it's new, welcome. If it's not new, just the more time you practice it, the better. I got videos on 2-level filter. Here's one right here. So you use a 2-level filter, right? That's that whole point. So let's go back and I'll get to the comments. Great comments by everybody. So what I pointed out in this tweet is we had the outside bar. Okay. We're going to likely bounce into this range. We did it. Now we're starting to break it. I'm identifying the next level, the next trade. And I'm basically saying a few things. Here's a 2-level filter. Let's go to the tweet. All right, let's go back. So we already got that. We don't need that tweet anymore. Here's this tweet. I basically said, if it can flip 68.5 with a big if, because it's not a guarantee. I mean, we're in it. There's a lot of downward pressure, and there's no guarantee. Bulls have kind of had iffy follow through, right? Redemption blog says Cheds is a cheat code. Thank you. But the funny thing is, I teach you everything. It's all here. I mean, yeah, I've got many years of experience, and I kind of eat, sleep, and breathe Bitcoin, so I probably have a pretty good feel for it. But I'm trying to teach you everything I know. Thanks for saying that, though. So here's your 2-level filter. If it can break it, 2-level filter. Next level above would be 75.15. So I'm kind of giving you a couple things here. I'm saying there's a potential trade here, and then we're back to what we had been watching, which is the initial range peak circa. We're right about 71.5 zone, the top of the structure. If we break 71.5, pretty good shot to get to 76K, which was my initial target. That was my initial target off of this call here, where I basically said, be ready, right? This is when I was saying, back here, be ready here for a bounce. We got the bounce. We just, initial bounce, just not the follow through yet, right? And so, 71.5K broader range peak. If we can break here, that's your broader range peak. So what happened? Okay, let's go back. Let's go there. What happened? We don't need that. Bitcoin is unable to clear. Okay, sorry. Here's the next update. Excellent response to this 4H outside. So I'm pointing out now, we've had really nice response in the 4H outside bar. And there's a concept people don't realize, and it's especially true with Japanese candlestick signals. If Japanese candlestick signals are all short-term signals. There's no, most of the time it's just a move from, maybe a lower to the middle Bollinger even. And that would satisfy any kind of real momentum from a candlestick signal, right? So what I'm pointing out is, again, a little bit of Obama giving himself a medal, but I'm saying excellent response to the 4H outside, basically saying, hey, nice call by me. Hopefully you followed it and you did well. But this 4H outside has played out. Whatever signal, whatever strength we had from this candle has already happened. So basically, the 4H outside down here at 63.7, it's not a reason to buy up here at 68.5. It's played out from a momentum standpoint. It's used itself up. It's a healing potion. You've already drank the healing potion. There's nothing left in it, right? But we have some things in front of us, this price zone. I'm basically saying, now let's see if we can flip it. And, that's Ethereum. We'll get to Ethereum. So what happened? We're trying to flip it, and we started to get pretty weak response. I did my Bitcoin Live member report on 2 nights ago on Wednesday night. And I basically noticed, and it was right after this candle closed. So I basically said, it's looking kind of dicey here. We're not seeing the initial strength we would have wanted to see on the 68.5. We're seeing some pausing and consolidation. And what I said to the members was, I think we're probably going to come back and retest 65.5 zone. It doesn't look like we're going to break through here in the first pass. And I told them, and these are always my best guesses. Sometimes it may seem like I know the future or whatever, but it's just my best guess. Just based on what seems logical to me and what momentum is and stuff, right? And I basically said, with this, this is a dark cloud cover is the name of this pattern. I have a video on that in the encyclopedia. I basically said, it looks like we're not breaking out here We're going to probably heading back for a retest of 65.5. If 65.5 fails, this thing is cooked, uber ultra cooked. I mean, like the whole bull thesis here is that this is a deviation. That's the bull thesis. This was a deviation. This is the low. The low's been set. I mean, if we fail here, we are testing and breaking 62K. That's just the way it's going to be. So what happens if we do that? And then I'm going to get to the chat room because I want to hear from you. I want to interact with you a little bit. So what happens? What happens then? So what if we do fail? What if we test and we break there? Well, what's going to be next? That's a great question. What would be next? I mean, probably definitely 55K. It has to be respected. The immediate range lows from this long consolidation. We'll go to the weekly and we'll kind of look at it that way. So, we fail here. I think we're going to pause and then see what the price reaction would be at 55K. And that's all you got to kind of look at. Probably will pause there. We'll probably not just shoot right through that level. It would probably bounce. So that's going to be my game plan. So let's see. Are you aware of the fact that the live stream is interrupted by ads running next to your stream? What do you mean? What are you talking about? Voss and Springer. I mean, that might be you. I mean, that might just be your YouTube membership. I mean, there's nothing different. That's how I've done every stream for the last several years. Voss and Springer says that live streams by interrupted by ads every 20 seconds. Is that true? Are you guys seeing that as well? I don't know what you're referring to. Yeah, other people are saying buy YouTube Premium. Yeah, it's like $8 a month and just no ads. I mean, it is what it is. It is what it is. I'll let you decide. I'm not going to tell you what to do, for sure. But I'm happy. I'm glad you're here. Thank you for being here. So let's get to the chat room. So that's my starter, right? That's my starter riff on Bitcoin. We'll do Ethereum. I'll just tell you quickly Ethereum. It just needs 2150, and this is all noise below 2150. This is just a major high time frame pivot, going back to the ascending triangle breakout, 2023, and all these multiple retests, aka throwbacks. The deviation below, tower bottom, tower top, held, should have held, didn't held, and now it's underside. And we're essentially in a situation of underside where you've had support, supports, now it's resistance. And that's 2150, and it is the most important level in the history of the chart. And here it's another straight up, failed breakout, needs to flip that level. That being said, what is really nice is that if Ethereum can break 2150, you have a very, very high confidence long trade setup. Just really, really super duper straightforward. Take the trade, feel good about it. The price is telling us to watch this level. It's been telling us to watch this level for years. So, and then the most recent price interaction vis-a-vis this rejection just tells you even more to watch it. And should give you even more confidence to take a trade if it breaks. So Ethereum needs 2150 point blank. If it fails here, I've got 1500 in the cards, okay? All right, Dancing Cheds, Uncle Cheds, DJ Cheds, W Vibes. Let's see what everyone else has to say. JDX says DJing is easy. I guess so, but it's about your personality too. I think personality plays into that a lot. Who's that guy? Then there's the guy who does the wake up. What is the guy's name? Mark something. He's a French guy, DJ. It's like, what's the guy's name, right? He does that thing where it's like wake up and he's screaming around and dancing to it. Like you can do it different ways. That guy's pretty cool. I haven't seen him on the timeline much recently. So let's see questions. So DDD said, is it more positive that ETH BTC is ranging for a long time, so possibly taking longer to form a bottom? DDD, is it more positive for what? Positive in what sense? Positive for what? I mean, it's just doing nothing. There's just nothing going on here. Flat MA200. A lot of people have been bullish on Ethereum. The ETH BTC just means the strength of Ethereum versus the strength of Bitcoin. There's just nothing happening in this chart. I mean, it's a downtrend, higher time frame. Daily's basically sideways, but I still would rather be in Bitcoin than Ethereum based on this chart. I mean, that's it. When you ask if it's positive, I don't know what you mean, so maybe you can expand on that question. And by the way, folks, get your questions ready, your chart requests. I want to talk. I'll still do gold and silver, some altcoins, but I want to hear from you. So just fire away. I'll look at equities for you. I'll look at big board charts. I'll look at whatever you want to talk about. Okay, I'm going through the chat now. All right. More talks about DJ. Triple bottom for bulls. JDX. Well, you're talking about Bitcoin. Triple bottom. I mean, where? How and what? I mean, you really just have one bottom. Really two tests of a low. So a triple bottom would be like this, that would be maybe triple bottom. But really, this range has just morphed into a rectangle. Right, I put out a tweet on Solana, which pretty much illustrates it, where it's just a clear up bear rectangle, right? Move down. And there's a concept where, and the rest of the market's kind of following along, there's a concept of patterns morphing from one, and I have a video on that in the encyclopedia. It's somewhere in here. Just, search the word morph or morphine. Not morphine, the drug, but morphine. So for example, you have like a bear pennant, right? Or even, or even like a bear wedge, right? Or even a bear flag, right? Whatever you want, but even let's call it, instead of a bear flag, let's get rid of that one. We'll call it like a rectangle. Now the rectangle, maybe the rectangle could morph into, like a head and shoulders or whatever. But more of the time when you're going to see the pattern, the pennant and the wedge, right, morph into a rectangle, because the price, rather than breaking out, you get to kind of the end of this consolidation range. It's called the apex. I have a video on that concept, the apex. And you'll get these false breakouts, and then all of a sudden now you're just dealing with a lower and an upper boundary. So at the end of the day, a lot of the time these ranges just rather than quickly resolving, they become more of a slog, kind of longer term. And you just watch the range peak and the range low. And then you just manage your risk based on that. Thoughts on silver? Let's do it. What's up, Sam? Thoughts on silver? I mean, more bullish than I thought. I thought we were going to have a descending triangle breakdown. Instead, we had a bullish break of a descending triangle. This is one of the best performing patterns in classical charting, according to Bulkowski. I think it's the red book. No, I have this green book. You can't see it. The Encyclopedia of Chart Patterns, and then he's got the red book is the candlestick one. But in any case, he has the pattern site, and he's run the numbers, and basically upward breaking descending triangle is one of the best performing patterns. Where it breaks out. Now, I haven't done the video on the upward breaking descending triangle, but it's coming. I have a video on descending triangle, but not an upward breaking one. So it's an upward breaking descending triangle. It's bullish. Here's a big level to manage your risk. That was a breakout level. That's a stop loss level. You if it fails to hold there, you manage your risk. It looks good. Silver looks really good. I think it's going to push higher some. Can you use 88 to 90 as a pivot level? Yeah, sure. Right here, absolutely. I honestly think any kind of, you can draw a box any way you want, right? A box, which is just a horizontal zone of support or resistance. And it's just, the price may or may not respect it. In this case, the price is roughly respecting that level. I like this gap here because that's just a clear level to watch. But you can manage it there, and as long as you manage your risk based on that level, like you can draw a box anywhere and just manage your risk based on that level. It either works or it doesn't, but what's going to happen is you won't get stuck. It's better than just buying and holding, right? Buy and then fail, okay? Buy here again, fail there. Buy down here, fail there. Rather than buy and hold all the way down, it's in a downtrend, you lose all your money, okay? Let's see. I would also love... let's see what else we talk. Silver, we talk about that. Would love your thoughts on Hal. What is that? Halliburton? What is that? Halifax? Halliburton. Let's go back to stocks. Are you talking about Hindustan Aeronautics? Is that what you mean? HAL? Before all-time high at 44. It's not this one. So what do you mean, Hal? Can you tell me? You're asking me for a ticker. Can you help me out? Because I'm covering everything here, all right? So what is near $44 at Hal? Probably Halliburton. Yeah, that's what I thought. I don't know what this one. Halistan? Hindustan? Okay. All good. Never heard of it. It's great. Wow, that's a bullish chart. Halliburton's looking good. Halliburton is looking good. Okay. I think of Dick Cheney. All right. Interesting. So I'm scrolling out. Here's something you want to do. I see a lot of people doing, I make this point all the time, but when you pull up a chart like this, yeah, it looks amazing. You got to hit that mouse button and scroll out, get a bigger perspective and say, okay, wow, this is all just a push into this range. And let's go to the weekly chart now. And we see this tightening range, right? We see that tightening range, failed continuation, general underside here. Looks to be above that. That is good. Now we step back out. Now we have some perspective, but we know we're at least bouncing into resistance. Okay, we have that perspective, okay? We look locally, price versus EMA 8, primary uptrend support. That looks good. All right, now we look at your question. OBV is absolutely ripped. OBV, okay. OBV is a momentum indicator. Let's go down here, and let's go down there. This adds up the buy volume and the sell volume. It's very good for regular divergence as opposed to RSI, which is good for reversal. I'm sorry, which is good for continuation divergence. Not as good for regular, given that it's a bounded oscillator. I have videos on regular divergence. I have videos on hidden divergence. I have videos on OBV. I have videos on RSI. And I have videos on regular and all sorts of stuff in the encyclopedia. So what do we think? OBV strong? Yeah, OBV matches the trend. So we're not really getting any information. We just see the OBV matching the trend. So that's good. So now we're there. Let's get to the last part of your question. I try to dissect all these questions. Wondering if I see any resistance before all-time high at 44. Yeah, of course. What do you mean, do I see any resistance? What are you talking about, brother? Psalm Capital, what do you mean, do I see resistance before 44? What do you mean, do I see resistance? What is this? What do you mean, do I see resistance? Brother, you've watched me a long time. That's got a huge amount of resistance. So, yeah. Okay, let's see. Next question is VVV looks very interesting. What is VVV? Valvoline. Hey, let's do it. Let's have some fun. Let's oil it up, okay? Oh, okay. Bounce into descending supply trend, range low sweep and recapture. I don't like this candle combination here. Do you see that? Do not like that. Candle body progression is an important concept in Japanese candlestick theory. I have videos on that. Big body, medium body, small body, and rolling over. Evening doji star. Evening doji star at a lower high spot. Yeah. So, name of the game. Can it hold on a throwback maybe of 35? But this looks like it's going lower in the short term. You say it looks very interesting. Well, it had a nice bounce, lower to upper Bollinger Band move after the recapture, but this looks like it's going lower. So I would be very careful there, okay? Let's see. Hi, sir, I'm back. Hey, Antonio. Thanks, appreciate you. JDX says, best 5 minutes of advice on all of crypto Twitter, two-level filter. Filter's great. Two-level filter's great, right? Horizontal breakout level. Cheds is a cheat code. We covered that. Last hope. Let's see. I'm looking for questions. I'm trying to answer your questions. Okay, we talk about oil. Cheds, are we still going to 76K? Hey, Jonah, I covered that. It basically looks like we're not. We would have wanted to see more follow through here, and a hold of 68.5. It's really threatening to just go kaputs here. I mean, this is an important higher low, was recaptured. It tried to do a two-level filter that failed at 68.5. You can see price versus the 200. I mean, bulls are in a lot of trouble, but I did a lot on Bitcoin earlier. So just make sure you go back and watch that. Let's see. Cheds, we're going to say alpha on the block. Okay, oil. You want to look at oil? Let's take a look at oil. Or were you referring to the Halliburton? Okay, where do I have oil in this watch list? Yep, let's see. I might have deleted it. Let's look at the West Texas crude. Okay, that should be reasonable. All right, interesting. Lower highs, major low established, support for sure, no doubt. This is a big old downward channel. I mean, that's got to be observed as well. And we're heading into roughly an underside retest here. Underside retest of this lost structure. I'd be careful. I mean, this probably goes lower. Probably goes lower in the short term is my thought on oil. I'm not an oil specialist. I don't follow it that well. You can you can do all these types of geopolitical analysis and kind of do that. But let's see. I've watched that one. Okay. Ghost Zombies, what's up, brother? You know how you said you believe the ultimate bottom will be around Q4 this year? What's your plan? So if the price reaches 60K in Bitcoin. So what do those two have to do with each other? I don't know what those have to do with each other. Like, what's my plan if the price reaches 60K? Well, I've already told you we're like if we go back to 60K, we're going to break it here because we're looking at a failed high or low, right? It's just not going to hold. It's not going to hold to 60K. If it fails here at 65.5, it's going to go to 55K. That's my feeling. That's my instinct about the chart. We're going to touch and test the nut lows of this consolidation range, okay? Now, I don't know what that has anything to do with like me thinking very broadly guessing that we may be bottoming quarter four. I don't know how what do those two things have to do with each other? Like I told you earlier, I took the trade here in the 4 hour. Like even I'm the guy calling for 35K, but I'll take this trade. I'll take this long trade because it's just, I'll always take the next best trade in front of me. So, but I just don't know what the two things you said, Ghost Zombies, I don't know how they're connected. I don't know what one has to do with another. Jimmy wants to know updated assessment of your Filecoin short. Yeah, I haven't done that. I've got a short on Filecoin and my stop loss is, it's 105 right here. So I took an initial short on Filecoin. I got stopped out. Okay. I took an initial, Filecoin's been one of my best shorts, like always. When bad charts bounce, I go and look at Filecoin. I look at some other ones like Dot had Dot looks a little bit stronger here, actually. But Filecoin's just like a super dog. And when I see it up 30, 40%, I want to take a short because I want to fade a bounce in a downtrend. That's just trading 101. And we can look at some of these other ones. Maybe we'll quickly scroll through. But I took a short here and it failed. And I tweeted it out live. I said short here. Like 101, stop loss 105. And I stop loss, fine. It triggered. But I said, I will re-enter on an up thrust. And we got it. And I basically said, what that means is if we come back below and fail to hold here, I'll take a short. And I did. And my stop loss is 105. It came close, but didn't hit. I'm still in my short. And this is a dog. I think it's going lower. Even though there's nice accumulation, it's just a bad chart. It's probably going to roll over. And it's failing to hold this really important local pivot. So, I feel pretty good about that short, if that makes sense. So much knowledge in one live stream. Thank you. Look, honestly, I would probably live stream 2-3 days a week, but I got Bitcoin Live. I have to make the members there my focus. They've been good to me, and I've been dedicated for 8 years. I mean, so I'm sorry I can't do these more, but I still try to spread the love. I'll still jump here, try to jump here on YouTube once a week. Hello, can you look at Circle? Sure, Maxim, I'll take a look at Circle. Hope everybody's doing well, having a great Friday. I hope you all have a very nice weekend. So many plans. Okay, some volume here, okay. Let's go to the daily chart. Interesting, it's kind of a short setup, honestly. To bounce into this range, I'm kind of inclined to want a short here. It's just a bad chart. And you've got the range loss, and recapture and all that. And so that's a momentum pivot. But I just see this. I see a downtrend. I see a bounce. And I see a bounce right into a well-defined level. So I know I can take a short. And my invalidation is very close by. Like, and maybe not right here. But yesterday had been a short. Like for here, I'm kind of in the middle of the channel. I don't have enough. There's a concept called price interaction with key level. And again, I have a video on that, right? And the concept is that you want to, like, here's an example. Here's what I mean. Here's just a quick TLDR on that. So if you have a range here, move down to the range, you play either at the range bottom or the range peak. You don't mess around in the middle. You don't take a long here because you can go down there and chop around. You take a long on a break here with your stop loss just below, or you take a short here with your stop loss just below. When the price is interacting with key level, key, well-defined, horizontal level, so you can manage your risk. I mean, that's the bottom line. Okay. Let's see. Hold on one second. Can you go get that? I'm doing a video. Can you answer the door? All right, sorry about that. Sorry about that. So what are we doing here? So what are we at? We're at 40 minutes. Okay. So yeah, this is the idea. You want to wait for price interaction with the key level before you pull the trigger on anything. Okay. Let's continue on. Halliburton, Bollinger Band, Hindustan Aeronautics. That's a funny one. Copper. Yeah, I'd requested that I do copper. I hadn't covered that last time. Let's take a look at copper. I do have that in this other playlist. Let's take a little look-see, if you will, at copper. So what are we doing here? I haven't really looked at it too much. This is a nice weekly uptrend, that's for sure. We have what's called the long-legged doji. It's one type of a high wave candle. High wave meaning long upper and lower shadows. Okay, so we see that right here. And it's kind of reeling, or it's dealing with this local volatility. Is it a diamond top? You can draw a diamond top if you want. And the idea between a diamond top is expanding volatility and then contracting volatility. It's essentially two symmetrical triangles. Okay. It kind of looks like a diamond top, to be honest, right? But I just play a diamond top by identifying range low and generally range peak, viewing this as a deviation. So I'd view this as range peak. I view this as range lows. I generally try to turn everything into a horizontal level. It just allows me to define my risk, okay? And it's got plenty of support here, actually. Throwback to that level. So I would kind of like it on a dip to around 570. But in the meantime, it's consolidating, it's churning. This weekly candle told you that consolidation was going to come, this high wave candle, and you've got it. You've got a lot of volatility. Look at all these wicks. A lot of indecision here in copper. Wife calling. Yeah, owes the door. That's funny. Thank you so much. Okay. What's the next question? Oguzogder. If 65K somehow holds, can we speak about a relief rally again? If 65K holds, well, sure. I mean, if it holds, it holds. It's a bottom line. 65K. If 65K holds, you shift back to looking. And that's a good question. Given how the price chopped through here, I'm less inclined to use that as a pivot. I might just shift back if 65K holds. I might just shift back and call this a no trade zone until it can clear the range peak at 71.5. I think if you're wanting to long here, you could be longing here with your nearby invalidation. But if you don't take that trade, I probably wouldn't mess around here in the middle of the channel. Let's take a look at Alibaba, and the 40 Thieves. Here's Alibaba. Okay, yo, yikes. Oof, ugly. What do you want to know about Baba? Hopefully you're not holding this thing. Yikes. That is not good. Needs to reclaim that just to start. This is a rough. I'll look at VVV. Rough looking chart. I mean, it's generally throwing back to this 2025 level, but there's just real bear momentum. The price looks to be rolling over. I'd be very careful in this one. This one looks like it has topped. Check everything else. Yeah, this looks really bad. I mean, whatever short-term oversold, but just the trend is down. And it's got trouble here. It's got this gap up above. It needs to clear. I'd be very, very careful holding this one. Do not like the chart. Let's go back to here. Let's look at VVV altcoin. Venice token. Okay, not Valvoline. That's funny. You're like VVV, not Valvoline. Hey, we'll look at Duolingo. Sure. Why not? I'm here for you folks. You've got me on a Friday. We're chilling. We're hanging out together. It's me and you and the orange mask and the Church of Eight Wheels, and we're just chilling. So, what do we think about Venice token? It's 4 hour. Nice little 4 hour momentum. Yeah, it's a decent. This is actually somewhat decent looking chart. It's not immune for further consolidation, and you're starting to get a little bit of an upper shadow and a little bit of a local nearby, right? Local failed breakout, so I'd be careful of that. But I think you can look to see if bulls continue to defend. I Enough there. If the bulls continue to defend and hold right around 345. Duolingo. What do we think about old Duolingo? You know, when I try to learn a language, I just go talk to people and have them explain stuff to me one word at a time. Yeah, we'll look at block 2. Yeah, yikes. I mean, it's a terrible chart. There's no doubt about it. I wouldn't necessarily be knife catching either. I mean, it's probably going to head and test this at some point. I mean, that's what it looks like. You are getting increasing volume, which is good. If you want a bottom, you're going to see most volume at the top and the bottom of a chart, but this looks like it's going to test lower. We'll do this one and we'll wrap it up. XYZ, ABC, the block. Yeah, not much going on here, right? It's just basically in a sideways range. Here's our range peak. Let's get all these thrusts below. You do have some very mild rising demand. You can watch that. Range low sweeps and recaptures. Major says, thanks, I'm reading through your book. Which book, good sir? When people say I'm reading your book, I say, which book? I've published 4. I've published 4, and guess what? They're all free on my YouTube. Let's go home. On my YouTube at Cheds Trading. Nope. Let's go to my home. Let's go to your channel. That's all the stuff I like to watch. A lot of chess, a lot of body cam videos. Now you know. This is my YouTube at Cheds Trading, and of course I'm on Twitter at Big Cheds. I hope you enjoy these streams. I try to stream more, but I have to dedicate myself to Bitcoin Live, and that's where I do my twice a week full market analysis. So you will see me there. You can check out all the great stuff on my YouTube, especially the Trading Encyclopedia, the free versions of my books. I think he mentioned, I'm reading your book. He probably meant Trading Wisdom. That's the one most of you have read. That entire book is being made free in the Trading Encyclopedia playlist. Oh, Trading Journal. Awesome. What do you think, man? This is my newest book. I'm super proud of it. I don't have a ton of feedback on it, but I love this book. It's a great book, Trading Journal. I'm glad you're checking it out. I'm also making that one free in the encyclopedia. So I have, in the Trading Journal, there's like good trader habits, there's emotional management, sample trading setups, and I do all of that in this playlist. And then I have like some sample trading journal entries. So like if you go down, let's see if I can find one here, because this is ranked by most views. So for example, I have like, what's the death cross? What's stair stepping? What are Southern Doji? Look at all these great topics. What's point and figure charting? Don't you want to know? What's a 3 Buddha top? What's confluence? And I'm looking for some here, fair value gap. Sample trading journal entry. So I've just sample trading ideas, how you fill it out. It's just great value. Hopefully you enjoy that. If you're looking for somewhere to trade, check out BingX. That is my favorite exchange. I've worked with them for many years. Great relationship with them. I'm on Twitter, of course, at Big Cheds. I gave you a full rundown on Bitcoin at the beginning of the video. You should have a pretty good idea of what to watch. How we got here. To me, it looks like we're having a failed hold at 65.5, which is pretty bad for the chart because we've been really in the mode of looking for a higher low after that weekly drop. And we've just been through a series of failed higher lows. We had the nice 4H outside. I tweeted it out. Hopefully you took the trade. You did well. You made some nice profit. Failed 2-level filter, rolling back, retesting, probably failing. Testing probably will break 55K. So somebody says, which of your books would you recommend as a starter? I'd say probably Trading Journal. But you don't have to buy it. If you want to buy it, like awesome, like thank you. It's on Amazon. But just honestly, like if you're a starter, just go to the encyclopedia and watch this whole thing. You really should. I have a separate Trading Wisdom playlist where I think I did 18 lessons, but I'm doing all 50 in this playlist too. So check out all that stuff. It's just great for you folks to have you here. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. It's really kind of you to spend some time with me. Spread some love. Tell your friends about the feed. But take care of yourself. Love yourself. If you're frustrated, ask yourself if you're putting in the work. Are you putting in the work? I mean, I have so many great resources for you. Take advantage of it, okay? So I've given you my thoughts. This should carry you through for at least another week. I'll try to stream again next Friday. But until then, we're going to dance and we're going to live and love and have fun. Church of Eight Wheels. So, folks, thank you so much. Let's do this.